pick number 3. Adam Schefter reporting the Niners have come to a consensus. Remember, they moved up from 12-3 last month, likely targeting one of the top quarterbacks. Fox Bet Sportsbook has Mac Jones as the favorite to go to San Fran, followed by Trey Lance and then Justin Fields. Brandon Marshall, who will the 49ers ultimately select at number 3? Because your Jets pretty much set, it seems, that Zach Wilson at number 2. But at number 3, what do you think Niners are going to do?
Is it for sure, Jenna, the Jets are going with Zach? Is it certain?
Yes. Yes. That's why we're talking Niners.
Pretty much representing them today.
Yeah, it's for sure.
You're pretty much representing the organization today. I feel like you would know.
Jeez. Listen, look, those guys get paid to recruit, to scout, do all that stuff. So I'm going to believe in whoever they go with tonight. Looks like it's Zach Wilson, so I concede there. All year we've been talking about 2 guys. We've been talking about Justin Fields. We've been talking about Trevor Lawrence. Zach Wilson also, came onto the scene in a big way the last couple months. Definitely after his pro day, seeing him spin it the way he spun it. Trey Lance is a guy, right? Obviously, Mac Jones, the big 5. And there's even a couple more guys deeper in the draft. But I just can't see them going with Mac Jones. I believe in this guy. I think he's going to have an amazing career if he gets in the right situation. I don't know why people are knocking him, because he was surrounded by talent on the field. He was surrounded by phenomenal talent when you talk about the coaching staff. Like, isn't that what you want for all of your players, is for them to have the pieces and the people around them to get the job done? So when I look at Coach Shanahan's offense, Kyle Shanahan, Trey Lance, Justin Fields pop out, but it seems like Justin Fields is flying, so Trey Lance is the guy. Like, Mac Jones, great, but that offense, we're talking about keeper left, keeper right. What is that? You stretch. They like to run 8. They like to run 9-hole plays, and then they pull it, and the quarterback gets outside the pocket. This dude has the skill set to not only run the offense that you have now, but take it to a whole nother level. This dude can stay in the pocket and throw. He can process. That's one of the things that jumps out when you sit down with this kid, is his ability to pick up offense right away. You don't have to just talk about his offense and what he's used to. Talk about football, period. This dude loves football. He knows football. And then to take that with the ability to throw the ball, the ability to run, the ability to get up after a big hit. This dude fits the Shanahan offense well. I was in it for 4 years, and then I came back to it a couple years later with Jay Cutler in Chicago. We brought in Jeremy Bates, who was our offensive coordinator, led us to be the number 2 offense in the National Football League. I just see Trey Lance fitting this offense perfectly, Nick. I believe that's the guy they're going to go with.
So I think that's the guy they should go with. I think there is a great argument to be made that there is a model out there that shows you exactly what the Niners should do, because it's what the Chiefs did 5 years ago. The Chiefs were 12-4 with a bye. And they lost in the playoffs because they used to always lose in the playoffs. And the very next year, they traded their first-round pick plus a 1 and a 3 for a super high upside, very raw quarterback. And they said, we are not trading our starter, Alex Smith. We are keeping him. And this guy is going to sit on the bench and learn, and we're going to try to compete for a championship. And by the way, they won the division again. They made the playoffs again. Yeah. They, of course, lost early again. And then they traded Alex Smith. Then Mahomes took over. So I think that is the right path for the Niners. Draft Trey Lance, hold on to Jimmy for 1 more year unless Trey just totally wows you in the offseason, and try to compete this season, and then move forward with Trey Lance after you trade Jimmy a year from now. But that's what I think they should do. Wilds, in researching the draft, something, I shouldn't say occurred to me, became evident to me. Every year Lynch and Shannon have been together, the media has known who they're picking. They do a terrible job keeping it a secret. I went back and looked. Their first draft together, everyone said the Niners are taking Solomon Thomas. They ended up trading back a pick, still got Solomon Thomas. The second draft together, the entire book was Guys, it's obviously going to be the tackle, McGlinchey. McGlinchey, if he, whatever the best tackle, you know what, to be fair, it didn't say McGlinchey, said the best tackle. Whatever the best tackle on their board is, that's where they're going. They ended up taking McGlinchey. The next draft was pretty obvious. It was Nicky Bosa, but it was, everyone knew. It was like this year's draft, where 1 and 2, the picks were in. It was Kyler, Bosa, picks were in. And last year, after they traded away Buckner, everyone said they're going to take their #1 D tackle. It was Kim. The moment they made this trade, the folks that know things said Mac Jones. So I think that's what they're going to do. And I think John Lynch showed his hand a bit when he was like, hey, Kyle's pick. It's Kyle's pick. We trust Kyle, which to me said there was maybe a little divergence of opinion. So I agree with Brandon as far as why they should take Trey Lance. But the Niners haven't historically been great poker players. And I think they showed their hand, and I think they're taking Mac Jones.
All right, Nick, I want to stay here because I'm going to ask you a question. And they kicked this around on Good Morning Football. Which audience is a good show to DVR? You can watch us live and then DVR Good Morning Football after watching us. Just an easy recommendation. And they were kicking around the idea that comparing, and I'll add my own sauce to it, when you look at Mac Jones, you compare him to Trey Lance, and you compare him to Zach Wilson, there's not a huge gap. You know, people can have differences of opinions. But when you're making this pick, Nick, should you actually be comparing it to other quarterbacks in the NFC West? When you're like, can this guy compete with Kyler? Can this guy compete with Russ? Because that's who we're really going against. And you just did it with the Patriots. It's like Tua and Josh Allen and Zach Wilson. I was like, all right, yeah, Jimmy G fits right in. But when you compare, when you put Mac Jones against Kyler, or you put Mac Jones against Russ, I think the pick looks much less safe. And when you look at it through that lens, then I think the pick is Trey Lance.
Well, it would be a great sleight of hand by the Niners if that's the case. And I'll be honest, Brandon, I hope I'm wrong, because I think it will be very fascinating if they don't take Mac Jones to see how far he slides. We've talked about this Justin Fields slide, but the only team that has been directly associated in love with Mac Jones, allegedly, is the Niners. So if they pass on him, how far down the board does he go? And that's the other reason, Brandon, why I think Mac Jones, even though I think he will be the pick, I think it will be a gutsy pick, because all the other quarterbacks, if you were to do like a compilation of all the big boards, whether it's Daniel Jeremiah, Joel Klatt, whomever, the guy who is consistently the most likely to be outside of the top 15 players in the draft is Mac Jones. And so it would be a reach by most people's standards. Exactly right, Jenna. I agree with all that.
Right.
So,
but what are you doing?
The signaling seems to be
he gave up so much capital to get to 3. Exactly.
That's what which is why in the beginning, Brandon, I thought it was a smoke screen. But at this point, eventually the smoke becomes real enough. It's not a smoke screen, it's a fire. And so I think that the smoke is a signal of something here.
It's hard to see that happening. You know, I believe in Mac Jones. He's going to be successful in the right situation. People want to knock him for the wrong reasons. He had so much talent around him. When I look at that offense and being in that offense, Coach Shanahan's offense, you need a guy who has a big arm. Mac Jones, he can throw it deep. He's accurate. But we're talking about big arms. Think about Kyle Shanahan, okay, when he was in Houston. And what did you see Andre Johnson doing? That was Mr. 1,500. What does that mean? He had 1,500 yards a year. He was averaging 18 yards a catch. They were running big over routes. They were running big posts. Think about when he got to Atlanta. You had Julio Jones and you had Roddy White. I remember watching, Sunday Night Football or whatever it was, playing against the Seattle Seahawks, and it was just bombs away. And then let's fast forward to the Super Bowl, and the game is on the line.